Some people say, what do you call that thing? I say, it's a washboard. Then they get this really disappointed look on their face. And then I say, well, you know, my nephew, the first time he ever saw it, he was 3. He saw it at Christmas time, and he called it my ornament. So then I say, this is my ornament, and people seem to be more satisfied. It's a fancier name. People have been playing washboards for a long, long time. I always like to think about the day that the washboard changed from being something that you washed your clothes on to something you played music on. I'd like to think it was a day that was a long time ago, maybe not so long ago. The kind of time when if there was any entertainment in a town, it was because there was a band coming. And they'd put up flyers, places, and people knew about it, and everybody get all dressed up in their fancy clothes, and they'd meet in a large barn or outside, and everybody would be there. All the kids come too, and by the end of the night, the children all be sleeping on the benches along the side of the room. Well, once there was a young woman who lived on the edge of town. You ever noticed in stories how people in the beginning of the story live on the edge of town? You know, they don't ever live in town near the 7-Eleven. She's on the edge of town. In town, near the hardware store, there was a young man who used to work there sometimes in the afternoons. There was a dance that night. He walked out one Saturday morning and knocked on this young girl's door. She opened the door. He was a little nervous. He said, "Ma'am, I was wondering if you'd go to the dance with me tonight." She said, "Yeah, I would love to." "Great. I'll pick you up at 8. She said, "Okay." He left. She went into her closet, got her best dress, went down to the river with her washboard. She's washing it. She was thinking how she'd, you know, wrap it around a broomstick and tie string around it and put starch on it, and then it'd have a lot of nice seams and creases for the dance, and it would smell good and be fresh. But then she got to thinking about this guy and how he was coming over, and they'd be dancing, and maybe he'd have his arm around her, and maybe he'd give her a little kiss like way over here. She dropped the dress in her dreaming, and it went flowing down the river, and she never noticed. And her hands scratched the board for the very first time with nothing in them. What was that? Ah, what a nice sound. She went right home. She was cleaning up the kitchen, because that's what you do when someone's coming over. You know how it is. Your parents say, "We're having guests tonight. Go clean up your room." They're not going to see your room, but your parents make you go clean it up. So she's cleaning the kitchen, and in a hurry, she dropped a spoon on the floor.